Hello, everyone. This is Jim Crenity with the Wise Guys Sports Show with a very important announcement. The following episode of the Wise Guys Sports Show is rated mature, as this episode will be in very poor taste, your host will ramble excessively, and there will be enough profanity that we're glad that we don't rely on this YouTube channel financially just yet. In fact, we're probably not going to talk sports very much at all tonight. Mike and I do not get any more off the rails than this, and this is 25 years in the making. This is the Wise Ass Sports Network Rides Again. Thank you and enjoy.
Would you shut the fuck up and start the show already?
That was fucking amazing.
Oh, welcome everyone to the Wise Ass Sports Network. 25 years in the making.
This is going to be insanity.
Well, everyone who actually might be tuning in, settle in for the next 5.5 hours, and
I got the Celsius rocket and another one in the fridge. Let's fucking go.
I can run downstairs and get a couple of Coke Zeros out of the machine if I have to.
Is that what the intermission pee break is going to be when we start doing that?
Pretty much. It's will we be timed like Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own?
It depends how much we drink. And don't forget, the shake counts. You told me to bring it. I'm ready.
The soundboard is not functioning tonight. We're not going to need it.
Well, I mean, it could be. Give me a half second.
Well, it wasn't
But
even
James,
loading. Yeah, it wasn't even loading for me. I think there's an issue with the program, so that's going to be a project for next week.
well, I got to tell you, all kidding aside, that fucking new intro is amazing.
Took me 3.5 to 4 hours to cut a 35-second clip.
Well, that sounds about right. Although I'm surprised you did it, considering the rest of your people are on strike right now.
I'm not a member of that group, though. I mean, what did we say that you're the executive director and I'm the producer of this show for our business cards?
Sounds about right. We should get those made. We should get those made up for October. And on one side have the Wise Guys logo and our titles, and on the back it says, just say, "If you believe this, you're full of shit, just like we are."
Have QR codes and everything printed, you know.
Print the QR code, and it's a picture of us going like this.
The circle game.
Oh no! Or we could make it. We could make it link right to Two Girls, One Cup.
Which I have not seen, and I will not.
Don't. It's not like the Anna Kendrick cups. This is entirely different.
There's a group chat going around with my father and myself, and Dad, I know you're probably watching, so I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Oh, here we go. And if I get a random email with a Taylor Swift song, I'm playing it, just so you know.
No, not tonight. Damn it, no, I don't want the one from Adam. There we go. Hey, can we get Taylor Swift for her August 13th concert in St. Louis? $400 a t-shirt plus Tay-Tay t-shirts. My brother says $400 and it better come with a complimentary from Taylor herself. Dad says that's no way, Frank. That's no way to talk about your future stepmom. Quit watching stepmom porn. Frank says, never. They always get stuck in the washing machine. I said, no. It's the dryer. They're front loading.
Or back loading in that case. Anyway. Dude, people are going to turn this the fuck off real quick.
We don't get monetized. What the shit do we care?
Yeah, this is a night that you and I have been talking about for literally 25 years. From our humble beginnings in the computer lab at Tri-C's Eastern Campus in Highland Hills, Ohio, to now the humble abodes of Mayfield Heights and Brunswick, Georgia.
Oh, the time spent in there. We were on you. You should not be on first name basis with all of the technicians in there, regardless of whether or not it was their day off or not.
No, you shouldn't be. And my personal favorite was the lady at the front, who had to explain to you your Tri-C email, which was like 8,000 pages fucking long. And you know, I had a friend of mine at Wright State at the time, and he said, "Wait, you're going to Yahoo now?" Which, by the way, I still have that Yahoo email address. I haven't been in it in about 10 years. But he's like, "I just memorized your email at school." And I went, "I didn't even fucking do that." Did you have a Tri-C email?
Oh, I never used it because we actually, I had just discovered that was my first taste of the internet. I was actually in there like just writing random blogs, or remember my thing back then was writing like redoing lyrics to my favorite songs and making them like covers.
Yeah,
And,
you were trying to be the Weird Al of Cleveland.
well, yeah, but I was doing it in a much more serious thing. Because remember, I
True.
actually did like a version of certain songs for like everyone in our Matchbox 20 crew in that chat room, like for Jen, for Deanne, for Jess, for I can't remember what her boyfriend, now husband's name was. I thought about them the other day. It's like I actually remember her maiden name, but you realize how many women down in that area probably have the same name?
They're probably all fucking related.
I actually still remember the phone number to be able to call Deanne in the middle of the day. And the last I heard, she was married with like 3 kids.
Holy cow.
So,
well, dude, you figure I can't. The last time I think I was in that room, we were definitely when we were in school. I don't even know if it's still there. I just know that I still enjoy Rob Thomas and the boys, but I still have that CD somewhere.
I actually logged onto their website the other day just to see if the chat room would come up. But chat rooms aren't even a thing anymore.
No, I mean, this was, you know, this was back in the day when you heard, you know, where is it? Ah, there it is. This more often than not.
I mean, from home it was absolutely, because nobody had nobody
high speed.
DSL wasn't a thing then.
No, not yet. Of course, the higher speed was at school, but you know that was, back in the day when. Was it your brother who got the pop up that was explicit material and got tossed that day?
Yes.
Speaking of Frank watching stuff on the internet.
Yeah, but I think I got warned about that a couple of times as well. It's because remember that was where we had all just discovered the internet, and there was a certain young woman in the WWF back then that was all the rage, that everyone had to go and try and find her pictures.
Okay, wait, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the blonde or the brunette?
The blonde.
Wait, which blonde?
Sunny.
Oh, see, I wasn't a Sunny person.
Loved me some Sunny.
Yeah, no.
You were Sable?
No. Dude, she's married to Brock Lesnar. You believe that shit?
Yeah.
For like ever, too.
Uh-huh.
I mean, good for them. More power to you.
I want to say there's a pretty decent age gap between them, too.
It's 10 years. Not that I can say a word about that.
Right.
Neither can John. Anyway, so we did have a couple things we wanted to get to tonight before we jumped into the fucking hilarity. First things first, and I know you and I, being college basketball fans, send our best to Dick Vitale. A recurrence of throat cancer of cancer of the vocal cords. Luckily, the prognosis is good from what I read from his Instagram post. So big up to that. And I said before we went on, when we did the Wise Ass Sports Network back in the day, that's the year Joe Torre had prostate cancer.
Right.
And that was one of my first posts was about that. And now you and I are bringing the Wise Ass Sports Network back, and another one of our beloved sports people has cancer. This is ridiculous.
Super scintillating, sensational. He's a PTPer, a high riser. He's the all Windex team, baby.
Yes, he is. Do you remember the old Midnight Madness stuff they used to do?
Yes, I think I went to a Midnight Madness at CSU, and man, was that fun.
You know, my favorite one was it at NC State or somewhere like that, where Robin Roberts was hosting with him, and the kid was taking the half court shot to win tuition, and Vitale said, "I'll throw in the books," and the kid fucking canned it.
Yup. God, those were fun because, I mean, that was like before social media. The internet was just getting going. Keep in mind, when we were actually doing this the first time, YouTube and Daily Motion were still about 5 years away from even being a thing. You couldn't watch videos on the internet.
You could, but they were grainy. They were horrible. Now, you and I and our old asses are coming to you live in high def.
Yeah.
I you know what? I can't believe it's been that long. But I'll tell you what. Let's do the other. Let's save the other part for another episode. Because I ran into a situation today where I had many lines of many movies that you and I actually seem to enjoy running through my head. I had someone come into my office. They were talking about taking a trip south of the border. And the first thing I heard in my head was, "Is that you, Tolbert?"
This isn't very funny, you know. I'm hungover. My knees are killing me. If you wanted to,
and if you were going to do this, you could have said you were from the Yankees.
Click.
And of course, last week with Willie, we had the Rachel Phelps mention with the owner from Oakland, dude. Did not mean to mute that. I am so glad we do this. I can't even fucking tell you.
Although, look back and think of where all those people are now. Charlie Sheen's a nut job.
He's HIV positive.
Yeah. Corbin Burnson, Tom Berenger, James Gammon's dead. I want to say Margaret Whitten's dead, isn't she?
Possibly. As Jim, who is not only our tech producer, he is also our stat guy. Let's talk about Dennis
in 2016.
Yeah, let's talk about Dennis Haysbert hitting fucking nukes during that movie.
Yeah, he was the original JUCO king.
Did you see? Did you see he faced off against some girl who said, "Get in the box, fat boy," and she's like, "You want to fight?" Or he says, "Or you want to fight? We could just do that. I got a boxing ring right over here." First pitch, she throws 70 some miles an hour. Pretty sure it was underhand, and almost blasted him in the back of his head.
Yeah, it was Hope something or other. She was actually she was at Oklahoma last year as a grad student.
A transfer?
Yeah, she was part of the national championship team.
Their third consecutive.
Right.
McAfee, I mentioned to you off the air, McAfee did the opening monologue for the ESPYs because Kevin Hart, in solidarity with the Writers Guild, decided to not do the ESPYs because they didn't have writers for it. So they let McAfee freestyle. How fucking stupid do you have to be to let that man freestyle to open a show?
Who's more dangerous with a live microphone unfiltered? Pat McAfee or Scott Steiner?
McAfee, because he's funny. Steiner's a dick.
Yeah. Either way,
I mean,
you turn into both trying to figure out where's the F-bomb.
Well, the thing about McAfee is he knows he can't do the F-bomb now because they introduced him as ESPN's Pat McAfee. But my favorite part was he brought up the Kansas City Chiefs fan who was Robin Banks to watch the Chiefs play in the wolf costume.
You mean the Super Bowl champion?
Champion.
Joke.
Well, my favorite part of that is when in front of his mother, who Travis Kelce brought to said award show, McAfee called him and Patrick Mahomes assholes, which was great. Because if you really think about it, he's not wrong.
No, he's not. They're
Kelsey's from Cleveland Heights.
They're fuck Heights high.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But that's the worst thing is that they're two of the most likable guys in football that you hate because they're winning everything anymore.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. I'm not too ashamed to say it. I was pulling for the Eagles in last year's Super Bowl because I wanted to see Big Jason make fun of Travis on their show.
I wasn't. I couldn't stand Jalen Hurts then. I will never pull for Philly. You could put Philly against Pittsburgh, and I just won't watch it.
Well, I didn't watch it the fuck either.
It gave me something to do for the night because there wasn't anything else on.
Well, the year before, I only watched a damn game for the halftime show. Hey, all right, here's the thing. We're going to go a little Wise Ass Sports Network. We went awful blue on that. We went a little crazy, and we said some things we really needed to be said. Did you see the other day, the day of the All-Star game, ESPN was talking about the fucking halftime show to the fucking Super Bowl?
No, it's
on Threads. Dude, I about lost my shit.
Yeah, I actually haven't followed them on Threads. Although I have seen that you can access Threads on a browser, but you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, you told me that's coming though, right?
Yeah, it's you could do like threads.com / and then the account of who you're trying to look up, but you can't you can't comment. It just kind of gives you a browser layout. But yeah, they're working on that. But I'd say, yeah, I don't follow ESPN because I don't want 90,000 things I don't care about. I don't want 645 soccer stories showing up in my Threads feed.
I'm going to start tagging you in soccer stuff.
And this will be the last episode of not only the Wise Ass Sports Network, but the Wise Guys Sports Show. It's been a good 35 episodes, yeah.
It's been a great run.
The trip is off, you know.
Yeah. No, we're still doing that. Hold on, I lost my charger cord. My fat ass. Hold on. Did I seriously run over the charger with my chair? Nope, got it. Sorry. Well, because there's so much stuff plugged into the Chromebook now, it's sucking battery like crazy.
Yeah.
And I have to have it plugged in order for this thing to focus right, the new camera. I looked blurry. Not that it didn't help me or anything, but I looked blurry.
Do me a favor, tilt it down a little bit. You're like the entire top half of it is
better.
Much better. Yeah, because where it was before, like the top of your hat was like on the bottom half of the screen.
Again, face for radio. And by the way, I totally forgot to come home and make that video today, so that's why I did it in the car.
I did mine on lunch. I was gonna bring this microphone into the office, and it's like, nah. I actually might want to do some work today.
I love the disclaimer. I really do.
The new splash screen actually for this episode, if it already says Wise Ass on it.
Dude, that new intro video is fucking killer.
Thank you.
I was sitting here and enjoying the shit out of him. Like, he's going to pull up the friggin' camera and I'm going to be dancing.
Yeah, I actually figure I'd go with a little bit more of a breakdown. It's like before we go live, you'll actually see Mike like bobbing his head while the cameras are cut before we come in. He can still do that, but it's a little bit more of a build. And it's like I couldn't figure out the effects because some of the backgrounds I actually kind of wanted to do with that. It's, I couldn't extend them. It's very limited as to what kind of free content I've got through Clipchamp, which is what I use to cut all the videos and the shorts and the OTRs and everything. And Willie, your ass is getting got with the with an OTR on Sunday after my cookout.
Brother Willie's going to be in the OTRs again.
Yeah, but this time he's going to be on the receiving end.
Nice. Did you happen to find the "You Big Dummy" thing that he was playing for us?
I could find it once I figure out how to get the soundboard working. Because last week it just wasn't. The last 2 episodes it wasn't playing through the Chromebook, and then just today it just decides to take a gigantic McDonald's induced shit. It just doesn't load anything right now. It won't even pull up the audio before I open the spreadsheet.
McDonald's induced shit.
Which is one step below a Burger King induced shit, because that one lasts about 3 days.
Well, as long as we don't bring Taco Bell into it, I think we're all going to be fine.
Yeah, but Taco Bell, it usually goes through pretty quick. I don't know anyone who goes to Burger King and actually outside of their breakfast and says, I'm glad I did that. The best thing I can equate to going to Burger King. Did you ever hear Jim Gaffigan talk about Hot Pockets?
Oh my God.
Flush Pockets.
You know what, though? Gaffigan is not one of my favorites, but he's got a couple of bits that you're just like, that's really, really funny.
I think the two that always get me with him are that and McDonald's.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh, are you?
I've never... No, I'm not being bad. I was going to look for something I saw earlier that I wanted to play, and I totally forgot what it was. Hey, have you done any more of those Immaculate Grid things?
No, it's I've like between cutting video with this and playing a whole lot of Switch anymore, and work and working out, and it's first of all, I'm not that good with baseball. I mean, I was lucky to get the 6 I did on that first one.
Well, I did one the other day, and I pulled a .01 out. And for anybody who's actually watching and paying attention to the two of us just ramble the fuck on, the Immaculate Grid, you got 9 different categories, but you got teams on one side, teams and something else on the top, and you got to pick a player for each thing. Dude, for a player who played for both it was the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Chicago White Sox, I pulled Bobby fucking Howry.
Wow. I know
.01.
I know Sportsnet has been doing that with their bar down guys. I think you've seen them a couple of times before, all the young guys. Yeah, but what they're doing is they're doing those, but it's not the grid. They're actually using it. There's like 2 of their personalities, and they're making it tic-tac-toe.
That's cool. That's cool.
That would be fun to do with something that we would both know, like NFL or basketball or something, or if I was a little bit more versed with baseball.
I'm doing one right now.
Did you see the Bananas walked off on a foul ball caught by a fan the other night?
And that dude was a big dude like me, and he snatched that fucker right out of the air. So I'm doing one right now. I have it up here. It's on the left-hand side. You have the Braves, the Reds, and Hall of Fame.
Hang on. Do they do it every day?
It's ImmaculateGrid.com. Yeah, pull it out. Let's do it right now.
I was going to say, yeah, let's do it live on air.
I already had one of them in there, and it's one that is actually pretty easy because of if you paid attention to baseball in the 90s. Okay, so that one right there, Braves and Pirates, is Sid Bream.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, you asshole.
What?
Fuck you, Sid Bream.
First of all, give it up to the ballsy coach who sent his ass on that play to left field, knowing Barry Bonds couldn't throw his way out of the fucking paper bag. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I got somebody in the back of my mind, but I think I'm wrong. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Oh, Sean Casey?
Oh, I think you're right on Sean Casey.
Do you see he's the new hitting coach for the Yankees?
Yes.
All right, Hall
I
of
just
Fame
always remember him for two things. Number one, getting thrown out from left field, and number two, beating Lauren Shahadi in the head.
Yeah, you know he married a girl from Brush, right?
What?
Yep. A few years older than us. If I read the story right, don't quote me. Let's see. Hall of Fame for Pittsburgh. Take your pick.
I mean,
we're trying to get a score that's low. Bill Mazeroski. What's 6%? The score? There you go. Bream was 18. What was Case?
10.
All right, so we're at what? 28-34 on those ones. All right, so the next one over. Atlanta and Toronto. Josh Donaldson.
This one, I'm actually thinking Terry Pendleton.
Or Chipper. Do Terry Pendleton there. I used to hate him when he was on the fucking Cardinals.
4%.
Nice. Toronto and Atlanta. Josh Donaldson.
23.
Yeah, because that's the obvious one, but I wasn't going to try and go deep cut with that and get one wrong.
Toronto Hall of Fame, Joe Carter.
Roberto Alomar.
$18.
Yeah. Hall of Fame in a 300 average season, Mike Piazza. That was almost 7 years. That was 7 years ago this month.
Tony Gwynn.
That's going to be like 100.
16.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So Cincinnati, 300 plus season.
Barry Larkin.
Pete Rose. $37.
And then we just need the one in the middle.
Cincinnati and Toronto. Fuck. Cincinnati and Toronto.
Dave Stieb?
Stieb never played in Cincinnati.
Okay. I know he spent some time in the National League. I couldn't remember who it was with.
I want to say it was San Diego. Oh, this is going to piss me off. Does Pete Rose look like a girl in his picture?
Little bit.
Jesus Christ, Pete. Who the fuck, Cincinnati and Toronto? It's going to annoy the fuck out of me, Jim.
Rob Dibble didn't play for Toronto.
No. Not Jack Morris. Not Tom Browning. Not John Franco. Not Randy Myers. Not Joe Carter.
Not Eric Davis.
Nope.
Not Barry Larkin.
Not Molitor. Not Ricky.
Not Olerud.
Not David Cohn. Not McGriff. Not Delgado. Not Doc Halladay.
Not Bautista.
Not Donaldson. Russell Martin playing Cincinnati? No, it was Pittsburgh.
Did he spend time with Cincinnati as well?
I don't think so. Johnny Cueto? No, he never played for Toronto.
No.
Oh, this is going to annoy the shit out of me.
Ed Sprague?
I don't know. Tony Fernandez? No, that was Cleveland. Adam Dunn? Or Chicago?
Did Dunn play in Toronto though?
No, he played in Chicago and Washington. This is going to piss me off. I got half a mind to Google this.
Yeah, but it's cheating.
Whatever. Oh, come on.
Is this just players, or could it be like managers or coaches too?
No, it's players.
I was going to say, didn't Cito Gaston spend some time with Cincinnati at their coaching staff?
He might have. I'm going to pull this out of my ass, and I think I'm right. Benito Santiago. He
You
played
might
for
be
fucking
right on
everybody. He played for fucking everybody.
Hey!
I am the shit. You know what the scary thing is? If we would, I wish we would have had this when we were younger. You know what's fun that would have been?
Yeah, but
We
we also weren't as big brained as we are now.
I smoked a lot of weed in between then and now, so it's, you know.
So our score was what, 144?
131.
131.
Yep. And it would have been less. I bet you it would have been less if we'd have gone with somebody, Blue Jays and Hall of Fame.
Oh, shit. You can actually get this through sportsreference.com now?
Yeah, Sports Reference, they teamed with them.
I'd like to
Dude,
actually
Jeff Passan the other day named all 10 guys who have won multiple Cy Youngs since 2000.
That's crazy.
I mean, I knew most of them, and there was one he forgot that I knew. Like, he forgot Tim Lincecum.
Yeah, because a lot of people forgot about Tim Lincecum because of how fast he fell off.
Yeah, I mean, the first one he pulled was Jacob deGrom, which, you know, that was the most popular one you could come up with. But yeah, so that's fun. I do that every day. I used to do Wordle every day with my wife and my mother-in-law, and the two of them would, you know, say who was better, and I suck at that game. I do that shit every day, and I hadn't done today, so I figured I'd get it with you.
The best starting word that you can do with Wordle is rates, R-A-T-E-S. It takes care of five of the 7 Wheel of Fortune ones up right off the bat.
And can we just give a hat tip to Pat Sajak?
Long overdue, though.
Yeah, he's been doing that a long time. Who did they say is going to take over for him?
Oh, I read this. I can't remember. Oh, Ryan Seacrest.
Dude, tell me you've seen the parody movie of 300. Meet the Spartans.
I never saw the original movie of 300.
All right, so you know the scene where he yells, "This is Sparta," and he kicks the guy into the hole. Okay, so King Leonidas is in this one, and his right-hand man is none other than Hercules himself, Kevin Sorbo. He kicks Britney Spears during the the breakdown into the thing.
Wait. Somebody hit Britney Spears that wasn't Victor Wembanyama?
Or his security staff. Someone pimp slapped her.
Well, I mean, she did say hit me one more time. So all you need is one.
Hit me again, Ike. This time put some stank on it.
I was always partial to Jessica Simpson.
Wow. Yeah, no, neither. They were too skinny.
Jessica Simpson had a little bit of meat on her. That's why I liked her.
Yeah, but she was a terrible Daisy Duke and needed to go the fuck away very quickly.
Yeah, she was, granted. And, at least Jamie Lynn Spears and Beyonce never actually had a sister who lip synced in the middle of Saturday Night Live.
No, that's true. But Beyonce doesn't have a sister. She has a kid they raised as her sister. I'm going to hell. Yeah. So I saw another meme about the submarine. It's Ariel from The Little Mermaid with the remote, with the controller, putting it in with the doohickeys and the thingamabobs.
Just when I think you can't sink any lower,
I go to the bottom of the ocean looking for the Titanic. What was it? Someone said, how would you feel if you were them? You spent $250,000 to go to the Titanic and you didn't even get there? You'd be crushed.
Yeah, we got to get the rim shot added when the soundboard comes back up.
We could have used that last week too.
We could have used that multiple times last week. Although for me, it would actually have to be blast beats. Did you ever see the video of when Bert and Ernie go death metal?
No, but I've seen the one where Barney goes Biggie.
Okay, you're getting
here we go.
Yeah.
The best Bert and Ernie one though is when they do Warren G and Nate Dogg.
Oh God, I've seen that one.
Or I saw one the other day. It was Gonzo from the Muppet Show doing the Humpty Dance.
All right, here we go.
It starts with it. I get freaky, and you stand there next to a fucking chicken. Oh my God!
I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
Bert, what is this? Bert?
Oh, Arnie, hi. Hey, this is my new drum set.
Drums?
Yeah.
Bert, why, Bert, do you play the drums?
Do I play the drums? Is Big Bird yellow?
Ooh.
Of course I play the drums. And when I play the drums, Ernie, I am the most far-out, hep-cat, and swinging person of them all.
Oh, Bert, hey, Bert, I'd like to hear that, Bert.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stand back, and I will show you a far-out, super-hep, swaying drum solo.
Oh, go, Bert.
A 1 and a 2 when I...
Bert, is that all you're going to do, Bert?
Actually, that's not the right one.
No, see, that's the actual.
I think it's this one.
That was the actual
You
skit
started,
from.
Bert. Go ahead.
Here it is.
Oh, okay, here we go. A 1 and a 2 and a chick-a-boom a chick.
Breakdown coming. I had to get the breakdown in, the 2-second breakdown.
Oh my God! You have got to be
I
fucking
will
kidding
never
me.
forget the night that I put that up on the Chromecast on Adam's TV at the old house, and him, my brother, Jeff Polsner, and everyone in the house literally lost their shit.
Well, those idiots, they're pretty much losing it all the time anyway. Did they lose? Oh, okay.
There's that, and I think my other favorite one is SpongeBob going metal for Job for a Cowboy.
Oh my God.
You've never seen Job for a SpongeBob?
Yeah.
You've not?
So, I've seen it.
Okay.
My favorite is still when they do Sweet Victory in the bowl.
Oh God.
All right, so I got some dad jokes for you. You ready?
Okay.
I tripped over my wife's bra. It was a booby trap. Milk is good, but it could be butter. My doctor told me I'm going deaf. The news is hard for me. The guy who stole my iPad should face.
All right, so this girl can't get through the jokes. So here's the thing. The first one, if you heard it, was
I tripped over my wife's bra. It was a
tripped over my
trap.
wife's bra was a booby trap. The
Milk
second
is
one
good, but it could be
could
butter.
be butter. Yup. What was the third one? She just lived.
It was a booby trap. Milk is good.
But it could be
Something
butter.
hard to hear.
My doctor told me I'm going deaf. The news was hard to hear. The guy who stole my iPad should FaceTime. Is butt cheeks one word or should I spread them apart? Why did the Mexican take anxiety medication?
You really want to get tossed off of here?
For Hispanic attacks.
Jesus Christ. I could probably do worse.
Wait. I tried catching fog the other day. I missed. Do they allow loud laughing in Hawaii, or is it only aloha? Don't shake your head. You started this shit with Bert and Ernie playing freaking death metal.
Yeah, I have a fear of really intricate buildings. I have a complex. Somebody asked me to name two substances that hold water, and I couldn't think of anything, and I just said, well, damn.
That's a good one. What the one girl in my office says something about calling Miss Jackson. I said, was she for real? Just that quick, too. The one who said that is the one who's my daughter's age. And the other lady in the office, she's around our age. She got the joke. She starts laughing. I start laughing. And the other one just looked at us like, what?
That's like when they were on top of the world back then.
Oh, my God. Have you seen the Hey Ya when they put in Matthew McConaughey saying all right instead of them?
Yup.
That's great.
That's a great one.
Oh, my God. So the other day, I'm flipping through my old Big Reek and stuff as I get ready for the 5th anniversary. And I came across the episode I did with my favorite movies, my favorite sports movies. And I'm running through my head all the different quotes that you and I have tossed out at each other over the years for this thing. So, like, for instance, my top 10 baseball movies, there's only one or two serious ones. The 3 Kevin Costner movies are at the top. Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, and For Love of the Game. It rained like hell here today, and the first thing that popped in my head too, well, we've got a goddamn natural disaster.
Which we brought up on this show, just a couple of weeks ago.
Just a couple weeks ago. Well, not this show. This is different.
Yes.
Other than Dickie V, have we talked about a topic yet?
No, we didn't say we were going to.
That's very true. And no, we're not getting thrown off of here. No one. Who gives a shit? No one's watching.
Not too high, too hard.
Who gives a shit? It's gone. I still think it's BS that they did that in Milwaukee, by the way.
Yeah, but at least it was a nicer stadium than trying to do it down at Old Municipal when it was falling apart.
That's very true. You know, there are people around here. People I met down here, and they hear I lived in Cleveland. They go, "Oh, is it anything like Major League?" I'm like, "I met the nun." Really? Yeah. Hey, who do they have banging the drum? Or
Nobody.
are they just piping it in? They're just piping it in.
It's piped in. They're never going to get anybody to replace John Adams.
Well, I mean, you can't.
I think they've already bronzed his statue and actually having it sitting out on a bench at Heritage Park in center field.
That's awesome.
And they've got a spot where his seat was at the top of the bleachers in left field, basically reserved for him every day. So like nobody really sits there.
That's the only way that should be.
Right.
I was a little mad when I went back in 2016 for the 3 games against the Mets, which, by the way, the Mets are going there next year. The 2024 schedules were released, and it sounds like the 7 Line's doing a trip. You want to see something fun? Go downtown when the 7 Line's there.
I was going to say, why don't you come up? Why don't you come back home for the week?
Depends when it is. It depends when it is.
I would love to be able to go downtown and watch the Cardinals, but the Guardians are going to St. Louis. St. Louis isn't coming here next year.
No, they're not.
No, not from what I saw.
Because I don't know when the series is. And it really depends on, I got certain points in the months and certain months of the year that it's tough for me to get time off.
Yeah.
But I would love that just because it'll be my 3rd 7 Line trip. Well, my 3rd 7 Line outing. I've only been to home once. But I think I'm doing the one. Excuse me, what?
I just went to pull up the schedule for next year to see when that is. The Naylor brothers just made history. They became the first brothers in baseball history to both hit 2-run home runs in the same inning.
Nice.
They both hit 2-run bombs in the 3rd.
And their younger brother got drafted by Oakland?
Yes.
Yo, the Guards need to trade for him now because Oakland fucking blows.
Well, it depends on what kind of haul they would be able to give because the Shane Bieber thing's amping up a little.
Yeah, well, Shane Bieber had an MRI today.
See, that I did not see because I was actually away from social media for a while.
Yeah, Biebs had an MRI today. Elbow and shoulder.
So get what you can get for him now.
Dude, he ain't pitching the rest of the year, guaranteed. And he'll take a lesser deal and he'll stay in Cleveland.
If they want. But, I mean, they've got so many arms right now that are hurt. It's Savali's a sieve. Quantrill needs to be sent down to rookie ball at this point.
I thought you were going to say the Titanic.
I wouldn't wish that on him. On our former president, absolutely.
Yeah.
Although I did see a hilarious GIF. It was somebody superimposed him like hanging by his fingertips off the ledge of a high-rise, and they said, if you saw this, what would you do? Some people said, throw a $100 bill. They're like, dude, with all of his legal fees, you could throw a handful of pocket change, and he'd actually still reach for it and lose his grip. Somebody actually threw a cheeseburger, but my personal favorite was this little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home.
Oh, no, ran out of pennies. I saw one. I guess Bill Maher told him he's got to stop looking like he's jerking off 2 guys when he dances. All right, I know we said we're going off the rails. I don't want to talk about that orange-toned son of a bitch anymore. He gives a bad name to the other color of my favorite team. So speaking of our trip that we talked about before, I had a customer in there today. She's a big Georgia fan. And we were talking about how the one day a year that I ask my family to understand that I need to be home is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. She goes, oh, yeah, I tell my husband that for the Florida game. I go, oh, really? I'm going to the tailgate. And she goes, "It is the most fun you'll ever do. It is so cool." She was going on and on, dude. We're gonna have a freaking blast.
Oh man, it's getting closer, and I mean we're a little over 3 months. The Mets series. Oh shit!
What?
May 20th, 21st, 22nd.
Well, I know what my dad wants for his anniversary. And here's the thing: May is one of those months I can't get a lot of time off.
Yeah, but what's like the weekend after that?
Your birthday, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, because you turn what you turn. I'm not going to say it because it's not
40,
nice.
46. I'll say it.
And then the couple days after your birthday, my daughter turns 23. Is it your turn to turn the camera off? Dick. Get the fuck out here. Yeah.
Gotta meet you.
You do not. As we have a new visitor tonight, that's Luna behind me.
Say hi, Missy.
Oh, so somebody's contract got voided or it's being renegotiated.
No, he needed a stand-in because he's a douche nozzle. He's Kyrie. Did you watch any of the ESPYs at all? Seriously, Canoe. Did you watch any of the ESPYs at all?
No, I didn't even know that they were on.
Let me tell you what that dumb fuck was wearing. He had on an earring that looked like something Mr. T would have fucking wore on the A-team. It was long and it was a feather. I'm looking at it going, what in Christ? What are you doing?
And this was last night?
It was a couple nights ago. It's the night after the All-Star game. So it was what?
So Wednesday.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, I was too busy watching AEW. Like quality TV.
The Buffalo Bills training staff won the Pat Tillman Award. Liam Hendricks got the Jimmy V Award, which was great. Who was the other one? They did a special one for LeBron for breaking the record. Best team was the Chiefs. Who was the other one that I thought was? But he was hilarious, dude. He took shots at Skip Bayless. He said, my favorite line was something about getting sued and don't do that unless you're Brett Favre.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because he also had to explain the joke afterwards for the few people in attendance that didn't get it, but it actually still worked.
Oh, my God. And then, what the fuck was Pat Mahomes wearing?
What the fuck was Becky Lynch wearing?
I don't know. But I tell you what, Seth Rollins is a very proud hubby. I will give him that.
Oh, Seth. Went from losing your first engagement after you got busted sticking your dick in a coffee mug to...
Is that what her name was? Coffee mug?
It was Grady Sizemore-esque.
Wow.
To marrying up to Becky Lynch, who is still, even though she's not been in the main event picture, still the number one woman in that company and has been for years.
Yeah, why hasn't she been in the main event picture?
Well, I mean, it's a little tough to do after you have a kid and go away for a year.
That was during the pandemic, right? Because I remember when she vacated the title to that chick.
Asuka. Yeah.
Yep. And Asuka was all excited. I mean, Asuka was like
because
flipping
Asuka
out.
didn't know. Asuka knew that she was getting the title, but nobody knew why.
Well, I remember watching that, and I was like, man, she's advocating the title. And when she said she's going to go be a mom, I was like, that's fucking cool. That's cool. I mean, we're used to guys having to vacate the title for being steroid-headed fucks.
Right.
Although I have to ask you this, Mr. James, and since wrestling is more soap opera than sport, although they are phenomenally talented athletes, I will say that. I've been to pay-per-views and live events. I know how fucked up they can get. They're trying to bring The Rock back to set up a him against Roman Reigns match.
What a joke. I mean, you can't take anything with that company seriously because right now the big talk is Jey Uso could be beating Roman Reigns for the title at SummerSlam to finally break, his thing because he got pinned for the first time in 3 years at the pay-per-view they did a couple of weeks ago. It's like, but you're still keeping it in the family,
Well, that was the whole thing, is that they wanted to, for what I was reading online, and it came up on Facebook. I'm flipping through bathroom reading, obviously. I'm flipping through, and it's not a bad idea. Like they want to do it on SmackDown because it's The Rock's show, and have him come out and just basically get in his face and go, "You ain't the head of the table."
Yeah, but Dwayne's still pulling in 30, 40 million a flick if he wants to. He doesn't need that. He's also 52 years old.
That's hard to fucking believe right there.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to do that. I mean, thankfully he doesn't have a medical condition that actually would keep him away from trying to do that if he wanted to, like like Triple H. I mean, Cena comes back for a one-off here and there from what I've actually seen or read. But and then we've got Steve Borden, who everyone knows as Sting, at 64 years old, jumping off tables.
He is insane. At 64, I hope I'm able to fucking walk.
Yeah. Although I think he is taking some time, like, off camera for a little bit, because I think, I know he lost a tooth in that spot because he actually, he shorted it. He was supposed to go through the middle of those tables now, but I don't think what I showed you in that clip was the one that was in the back, the one that Sammy Guevara was not laying on. Darby Allin went to set up that table, and then when you try to kick the leg out, sometimes you break the bracket where it's screwed into the bottom of the wood. So that table wasn't standing up properly. So that one was really just there as added cushioning to go through with the leap.
You're talking about using a table for cushioning. That's insanity.
It absorbs some of the shock of the blow, especially with which is why you don't see guys diving off ladders straight onto the concrete anymore when they're on the outside. They'll always do it through a table or a ladder or something, and those ladders are somewhat doctored because it just, sure, it hurts, and there's a lot of danger, especially if they explode and go the wrong way, as we remember with Van Dam and Jerry Lynn way back when in old school ECW. But it does pad. It does absorb some of the shock on the way down.
Speaking of absorbing shock on the way down, bro, we are 25 years post that Hell in a Cell.
And there's a video that keeps showing up in my timeline of Foley and Mark Calloway watching that match back through together in the same room for the first time.
He talks about an out-of-body experience. And by the way, he's bringing some kind of one-man show to Cleveland. The Taker is.
That could be very interesting.
Because he's talking about a lot of his experiences.
Although I'm going to say controversial take, The Undertaker might have been one of the 5 most overrated wrestlers of my lifetime.
It's not controversial. I think the Phenom angle got overrated as it went. But my favorite Undertaker iteration is the American Badass personally, but that's just me.
I just remember it was it actually spawned our AOV, 2-time AOV world champion Lord Pants, who became the American Fat Ass.
I love that dude.
Hey,
real quick.
I think maybe next weekend I just want to go down to his new bar.
Yeah, you see, he's like Captain Podcast and bar owner now.
Yep. It's him with Bill Squire from the Alan Cox Show. Great. Man, is that fun.
That sounds like it. Let me see here. Oh, Mets lost 6-0. Big fucking shock.
it doesn't feel like a Friday for some reason, you know?
It's because my thing is I was off all last week, so I'm like more shot than normal. Plus, I'm going in tomorrow. Oh, Mets lost 6-0.
Yeah, and I also think it's something that we had the All-Star game, so we basically had 2 days of nothing.
Yeah, really. I mean, there was some news and stuff, but we'll talk about it next week. This is just I like this.
Right. I mean, the 2 days after the All-Star game are like the worst 2 days of the entire sporting calendar. You have nothing. There's no golf tournament starting for the first one of those. There's nothing going on. There's like WNBA and a couple of minor league games.
Speaking of WNBA, did you see Ionescu from I think it's Liberty set the record?
Bring that up. Wow.
37 points in a 3-point shootout.
Even though they actually had like those bonus balls in between stations, but still, that's impressive. What that harkened me back to was what was her name? Presley Hudson in the college 3-point competition a few years back, where she hit like 14 in a row.
Something like that. That's crazy.
I've never seen somebody get that locked in on the outside like that. Although, did you see the video that the Cavs put out on Twitter of what was his name?
Was it Imani Bates or was it the other dude?
No, it was the guy from Miami. Just draining 3 after 3 after 3. I think he hit like 9 in a row.
Max Strus.
Yeah, Strus. And these were deep too.
Yeah, no, he's going to be a great addition. Let's talk about getting Patrick on next episode, next Saturday night. Because we've been trying to get him to get through the Cavs, obviously, because we are going to have content that we're going to actually bring you where we have opinion and fact and whatnot. I do want to get into it with Willie on the friggin' Michael Jordan thing, though.
Okay.
At some point in time, whether that's Big Rican or here or I just call him one day and be like, yo, you saw that. No, I wouldn't do that. What the hell else? So what can you remember from the Wise Ass Sports Network? What can you remember as far as stuff you wrote? Because I remember I did the Joe Torre piece, which we both did one. You did one. You did some wrestling ones. I did mostly my teams, which was when we used to design our own websites and that friggin' thing.
Yeah. I think the two that I always remember was the New Jack interview after the ECW show, and I'll get back to that here in a second, and then the CJ Nikowski interview.
Dude, the CJ Nikowski interview may be one of my favorite things anybody who's not a mainstream media member has ever done. Because I remember you telling me about it. It's like, hey, I interviewed CJ Nikowski. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Right. And this was when CJ Nikowski was still actively one of the focal points of that vaunted Houston Astro bullpen.
That was with the Killer Bees, with Bagwell, Biggio, and Bell, right?
Yep.
Was Mike Hampton still on that team, or he already gone to the Mets?
No, he was still
that was
there.
99. Okay. So that was right. That was 99 you did that. Dude, that's because they put his...
I want to say Caminiti was there.
I think Caminiti might have already been in San Diego.
I know I was following him with part of that team. Yes, I'm a little foggy on the year. I couldn't remember if you might be right. He might have been off to San Diego, but I mean that's actually like, that's when I was a huge Astros fan when they actually went to the Shooting Star A. But I love the navy and the gold as opposed to the red and the gold a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean that Nikowski team, that was the Jose Lima, Mike Hampton. The Triple Bs. Who else was on that team? Biggio at second, Bagwell at first. You had Derek Bell in the outfield. Mike Hampton and Jose Lima at the top of that rotation. Was Darryl Kyle on that team, or
I was just bringing up Darryl Kyle. I think no, because Kyle did not pass until after they had changed to the red.
Okay.
So they were still wearing. So he was there when they were still wearing the blue.
Okay. He was in St. Louis though. He was with the Cardinals when he died,
passed,
right?
yeah. But he was still with the Astros organization when they changed from the blue scheme to the red. When they went red and black.
He threw his no-hitter against the Mets.
Right.
Shock. I'm trying to think who else was on that team. They had a right-handed pitcher, blonde dude.
God, I don't
Billy
even
Wagner
remember.
was on that team.
Yes, Billy Wagner was a closer. Mike, that thing that you actually messaged me about privately, that's spam.
I figured as much. I just want to make sure you saw it.
Yeah, I actually just opened up my my messaging, and yeah, it's spam.
Okay. But I always want to make sure you're not getting scammed or nothing, my man.
Yep. I work in fraud and liability. I figured I could definitely look into stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sometimes it's fun to be able to tell people who don't deserve whatever they want over the moon. My favorite word is no.
I have to do that in my job too. It gets fun though.
I remember I did that to my grandmother once, just out of spite, just to be an ass.
Fucking stop.
I went over there and she kept thinking of all these other things to do. So one of the things I had to do for her in her later years was I vacuumed the entire house. Although she was so old school, she still called it the sweeper. So
I thought you were going to say the Kirby.
No, I actually vacuumed the word no into the living room carpet. So when she asked me to do 2 or 3 more things, I just pointed at the floor.
You're an asshole.
It was funny.
I didn't say it wasn't. Other point still stands. Oh man. But who is the one? I'm trying to think. There was something that happened in that computer lab, and I cannot remember besides the insane amount of classes that were cut. Frank did something that we just spent like a half hour laughing about.
Oh, one second.
I can't remember
here.
what the hell it was.
I pulled up, even though it was a little bit after that, I pulled up the 1995 Houston Astros roster. And that team, remember, still had Doug Drabeck on the back end of his career. Does the name Peter Martinez ring a bell?
No.
Pedro?
No. 95 Pedro was in Montreal.
Todd Jones. Mike Hampton was a part of that team.
Yep.
Daryl Kyle.
Shane
Reynolds.
Shane Reynolds.
Greg Swindell. Jeff Tabaka.
Oh, my God.
Scott Service was the catcher.
Didn't Swindell go from there back to the Tribe?
No, I don't think so. Bagwell, Biggio, Dave Magadan.
Dave Magadan, the former Met.
Phil Nevin. And then the outfield was Derek Bell, Luis Gonzalez, and then they actually planted around with Phil Plantier and John Cangelosi.
John Cangelosi, whose relative went to school with us. Mike Cangelosi, who lived over by me, worked at Aleshi's with us. I think it's like second or third cousin.
Interesting.
He was Navy. Mike was in the Navy, yeah.
Beat Army.
I have to say that. My father-in-law was Navy.
Both my grandfathers were in the Navy. Yeah, I have to say that.
Yeah, my grandfather was Army, so I'm kind of, let me see. What else did we do? Because we used to sit there and just go in on the different things we watched. I mean, you were always the wrestling guy. You're always you still, to this day, are the reason I'm a Cavaliers fan. Yo, your boys just traded Patrick Ewing. They're fucking dead to me. Next words out of my mouth. I will never forget it. That's what your brother was laughing at. That's the day your brother asked me if I knew John Gotti personally when I said it like that.
I'm going to see him at the cookout tomorrow. I'm going to see if he remembers that.
That was hilarious because we were sitting 1, 2, 3 in the cubicles, and you're like, "Yo, your boys just traded Patrick Ewing," and I said, "They're fucking dead to me." And he looks at me, and he's like, "Do you know John Gotti?"
You know what the fun thing was about that? Because you were going to class with that. It was me, him, and Baltitis, and you were giving creative input towards
AOV.
We were still doing the AOV back then, so we were actually giving ideas for storylines and stuff on the website. You were helping us build the website.
I remember that because you were like, I should give you a writer credit. I'm like, nah, I'm a ghostwriter.
God, I wonder if that website is still functional out there somewhere.
It's a fucking dinosaur if it is.
It was on Angel Fire.
That's right. That's where we did everything. Is Angel Fire even a thing anymore?
Oh, that is because I think I brought that up at work with my boss the other day. Actually, earlier today when I was telling her about tonight's show. It's part of Lycos. But it's still a thing. And the copyright is 2023, which means it's not outdated.
Oh my God. $16.99. You can buy at .com. Jim.
Better now than it was then.
Jim.
I know.
Okay.
I have enough time. I have a hard enough time updating mine.
No, I know.
Although I have been thinking about it.
Yeah, that just kind of popped into my head.
Well, I've also been thinking of maybe getting a .com directly from mine, but it's like then I'd have to rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. What is the one that I do?
I think the one thing that I am looking to do though is I'm going to think about like overhauling the Wise Guys page on the blog. For a little bit and maybe kind of get it to look a little bit different or a little bit better because as the show keeps progressing, it's just going to get longer and longer and longer with that list. Although opening up the social media stuff with us is coming before too long.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe a separate blog might actually be a good idea for it just for hosting.
That's not a bad idea. I got to change the Twitter profile and put on there. I haven't put the Wise Guys on. I haven't messed with my Twitter profile. I don't know how long. And I got to do the one for Threads yet. Have you had I had an interaction today with the Bat Flips podcast, which is Ben Verlander's show. Talking about somebody making up on their name. Dude, He was at the All-Star game and he showed Griffey the video, or he was talking to him and he goes, I've seen that video of you taking your brother deep in spring training. He said, you should have played that more. Hey, speaking of, did you see they did a HBCU Classic at the All-Star game?
I did not. I didn't pay a single bit of attention to anything the entire weekend.
Well, Julio Rodriguez hit 41 dingers in the first round against Pete. I literally, Jim, I came back downstairs Monday night. Bobby went to sleep early. I sat down. I was about to pull it up on YouTube because someone was pirating it and broadcasting on YouTube with a disclaimer in front of it, but you could see and hear everything. Yo, I saw he hit 41. I didn't turn it on. I was like, I can't watch my boy go down like that.
Yeah, the only three things that I saw the entire or read about was Vlad winning and saying he was exhausted. Hosey hit a double, and then the NL broke the streak, and that was it. I didn't pay attention to, or give a shit about any of it because I don't care about All-Star games anymore.
First time in All-Star Game history, two guys with the same last name hit home runs in the All-Star Game. And it started out with two phenomenal defensive plays, Arozarena and Diaz, a left fielder from wherever the fuck he's from. Robbed home runs and extra base hits. So Arozarena gets a hit in the first inning, goes to first base, and Freddie Freeman goes, you got to take your pick, man. You either take hits away or you get them. You cannot do both. So Arozarena looks at him and goes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but did anyone make a catch behind their back like the Bananas do? So, no, because that's the only baseball I watch anymore.
Did you see the dude got hit in the face on a pickoff attempt?
Yeah.
That was bad. They're in Durham right now.
Yep, they're playing at the same field that Bull Durham was shot at because it was the splash screen leading up to it was the Bull.
Anything that goes that far ought to have a stewardess on it.
I held it like an egg, yeah, and he scrambled the son of a bitch too. Look at that. He hit the fucking Bull. Now he gets a free steak.
Told him it was a fastball. Yep. No, I'm sorry. What the hell is going on here? Well, Nuke's breathing out of Nuke's breathing out a wrong eyelid because they're jammed, and he's nervous about his old man being here. We need a live rooster to get the hex off Hector's glove, and no one can figure out what to get Jimmy and Millie for a wedding present. Do I have it all? We're dealing with some serious shit.
And the part with the flowers goes in the front.
No. Robert Wall. Well, candlesticks make a good gift, and maybe a place setting. Find out where she's registered. All right, let's get to.
Oh, God.
I will, however, one day learn what he says to Susan Sarandon. The old ESPN commercial with Peter Gammons as Susan Sarandon and Reese Davis as Kevin Costner. He says, and long wet kisses, good night. Good night. And you flash to Peter Gammons in a brown wig, and he goes, oh my. Major League is a more quotable movie, though.
Agreed.
Because outside of the interactions between Nuke and Crash, which still, come on, meat, I hear you couldn't hit this water if you fell out of a fucking boat, is a great line. But just the entire spring training scene and the setting up of the team in Major League is something you can actually use in everyday talk.
Real quick before we shift to Major League, get a hit, Crash.
Shut up. Quick bat.
Get the broad out of your head.
All right. What team does he go to manage after he hits his dinger and hangs him up?
No, that's a hockey team. Shit. What was the minor league team in Major League Back to the Minors?
The only part of Major League Back to the Minors I watched was when they talked to Tanaka, who now owns a mini golf course, and they're dubbing his English in Japanese.
God, I think I saw that. I don't think I saw that whole movie.
I watched part of it because it was Scott Bakula, and I love they sent Harry Doyle down to rehab. That part I loved because Harry Doyle drunk is basically Brockmire. Have you seen that?
I know of it. I have not seen it because it was not on a service that I've had, although I'm a little against the idea of it because this was back when I was still listening to Rizzo in the morning every single morning, and Goldhammer got the right idea to bring him on in character for an interview, and Riz has still said that it's the worst interview I've ever done. He almost fired Hammer on the spot.
Are you serious? Why didn't he?
It was terrible because Riz had never seen the show.
Well, yeah, and that's, Riz goes home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and goes to fuck to bed, the old bastard. But Brockmire, basically, the dude has a nervous breakdown on air doing a game. And with Amanda Pete, it turns into debauchery, drinking, and baseball.
And you can't go wrong with Amanda Pete.
You can't.
Quick question while we were thinking about it. Scott Bakula, Quantum Leap, Necessary Roughness, or Agent Twain Cassius Pride?
Paul Blake.
I got to go Twain Pride, man.
See, I didn't watch NCIS New Orleans. Because once I saw that they took the chick who played Coates on Jag and the dude from the third Fast and Furious movie and put them in a show together, I was like, yeah, no.
Lucas Black, I liked him. It's on. That was, matter of fact, that was the only Fast and Furious movie I ever liked.
Didn't like 3. I like the way they weaved. That is Tokyo Drift is 3.
I thought that was 2.
No, chronological order. It's Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, where you meet Tyrese and Luda.
Okay.
Tokyo Drift, and then you get into what we have now, which is Fast and Furious, which is when he. No, they're not terrible. I haven't seen the new ones. I haven't seen 9 or 10.
Anyone who owns a drift car is a douche.
Most of these are American Muscle now since he died, though.
Doesn't matter.
The third one was the drift car. I did, however, see a thing where he actually drifted down a parking garage to catch a perp in NCIS New Orleans.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, just like being back home. Like, really?
Yeah. Yep. I caught that too. I remember that episode.
No, definitely Paul Blake for me. The old man quarterback who still kept his skills up by throwing to a dummy on the family farm and putting the point of the ball between the 88. What was the name?
He also was the holder for Kathy Ireland.
Yeah.
So somebody was winning at life for the 3 months that they shot.
Sinbad played D end. What was the name of the Samoan guy who absolutely lit up the linebacker in the last game and made his face bleed like that?
Oh, now I'm already looking it up. Don't worry.
Was it Manu, maybe? Robert Loggia and Hector Elizondo as the two coaches was great casting.
Yeah.
And then the guy who played the dean, he was I hated him.
Jason Bateman was that receiver.
Jason Bateman was that receiver.
Peter Tuiasosopo as the slender Manu Mana.
Manu Mana the slender. I'm sorry, but the best offensive lineman is a sumo wrestler from the Replacements.
Haul ass, round boy.
Have you ever seen Money Talks with Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen?
No.
Okay.
I hate me some Chris Tucker.
Dude, the movie opens, he's in a stolen car singing First, Last, and Everything by Barry White. And the guy who plays one of the guards, the one who shoots up the other quarterback's car, is his cellmate after he gets caught, and he starts stripping in the cell.
That's going into the file in my head labeled "Do not open ever."
Exactly. But the Replacements, if you like the deaf tight end, you know he's the guy from Out Cold.
Out
right?
Cold. Yep.
Another very underrated Jon Favreau project.
God.
Yo,
was
Daddy.
that a bottle?
Danny, do you remember what I told you in practice about red? Yeah. Forget it.
Forget it. Oh, you the man, Clifford Franklin.
How about doing the electric slide to friggin' I Will Survive by Donna Summer?
In jail.
In jail. Gene Hackman had a great line. Just for the record.
I would have
This ever
loved
happens
to have been
again.
there to see Martell get his ass
Martell get
kicked.
his ass kicked. Or how about Madden and Summerall? He's necking with that cheerleader. What are they going to do? Fire him?
I love
I'd
it when
like
a fat guy scores. Because you get a fat guy spike and a fat guy dance.
Fat guy dance. Or what was it? I'd like to say something classy and inspirational. But that's just not our style. Chick stick scars. Pain is temporary.
Pain heals.
But glory
Glory
is forever.
lasts forever.
Oh
What's
my
that
God.
smell? Wild yam. That's nice.
Really? That's nice. First of all, let me just say this on the level. If you had cheerleaders who all worked at a strip club, I think more people would pay attention to the cheerleaders in the NFL.
Stop them from shaking their ass for 2 minutes. The one girl
Don't
slapped
throw
the
it.
other one in the ass.
I can't even with this. But what other good football comedy movies are there? Because most of the football movies that come out are dramas, and they're shit. Like the program is really the one that was twisted. Any given Sunday, a dude lost his eye. Sorry, too far.
Yeah. But starting defense, place at the table, run your head right through a windshield.
What was it? Was it in the program?
My baby sister pregnant. You didn't think I was going to find you, did?
Willie Beeman.
No, Alvin Mack from the program.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you, doughboy. I can read. You see that shoe? It says Adidas. I taught him that.
Do you know when the last time I saw the program was? Before.
I haven't seen that movie in probably 15 years, and I still have 3/4 of it memorized.
I haven't seen that movie since we were in high school. The other one, I mean, Necessary Roughness was great, but there's not a whole lot of lines you remember.
Right.
Like, you should play football like Ed Gennaro played football. An undersized running back who would rip off their head and shit down your neck. Let us pray. I mean, that's wonderful. Of course, it's Robert Loggia, so it's even better.
Right.
Who had the worst Cuban accent in Scarface you ever heard?
And yet, I like new Pacino, not old Pacino.
I like newer Pacino myself, outside of The Godfather. The Godfather is just its own entity.
I have no problem saying this. I've never seen any of the Godfathers willingly, because if I'm going to watch a mob movie, I'd like it to be loosely based on truth.
Well, it's based on Mario Puzo's book, and they did cut a bunch out. I mean, Francis Ford Coppola went ham on that book to write the script. I will say this. The first one is amazing. The second one is even better when De Niro and Pacino are playing in the same movie. The third one's fucking terrible.
Yeah, but it's also just, I don't have the attention span to sit there and watch all that.
Yeah, I only have the first one in my extensive collection. I won't buy the third one. I only have the fifth Rocky movie because it came in a set that I stole from my father. My mother said to me, take some of the movies you want. I'm like, all right, bet. He called me. I was on the train on the way home. He goes, where's all my Rocky movies? Sit in my bag. Because the fifth one's terrible.
I actually remember one of the last few episodes of Sports Night. Casey McCall, played by Peter Krause, said, yeah, I had to do this thing. I got to put together this list for my video store, like my top 10 all-time favorite movies. And Dan Rydell Asked him how many Rocky movies. 1 through 4. 5 just didn't do it for me.
Didn't do it for him, Stallone either. Apparently, he wanted Rocky to die.
It's still hilarious that I've actually got Mortal Kombat 11 loaded up and Rambo's in there, and it's actually Stallone's likeness and voice.
That's crazy.
And yet they've got Terminator in there, and it's Stallone's likeness, but not his voice.
You mean Schwarzenegger?
Who did I say?
Stallone.
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
You know, it was Stallone only did that movie Stop or My Mom Will Shoot because Schwarzenegger did Kindergarten Cop. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Estelle Getty plays his mother.
Oh, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Yeah, I did see that once with Danny DeVito. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Good
no,
Lord.
That's Throw Mama from the Train.
That's Throw Mama from the Train. That's Billy Crystal, Mama Fratelli, and Danny DeVito. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Stallone plays this hard-nosed cop, and his mother has to come live with him. And he's sleeping with his partner, and she finds out.
Although
and she cleans his gun with Dawn dish soap in the sink. She buys a street sweeper for him for his birthday, and it's an illegal gun. He opens it up, and he's all mad. She goes, "I wanted it to be a surprise." And he looks at her, and he goes, "It is."
I just actually remember also around that time there was where a lot of us got our first taste of a very young Terry Hatcher in Tango and Cash.
Wasn't a huge fan.
Wasn't a huge fan either. But when we when we were younger, that's all that we watched was Terry Hatcher because this was pre Lois and Clark Terry Hatcher.
See, I didn't watch. I don't even remember Terry Hatcher in the movie.
She was Kurt Russell's younger sister.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen maybe Tango and Cash maybe twice.
Yeah, it's been a while for me, but
oh, that's what I want to tell you. Sorry, the movie episode. My number one basketball movie, White Man Can't Jump.
I was watching that the other day.
The new one or the original?
The original.
Yeah, I won't do the new one. No, man. You got to shoot at the Sudan.
Oh man, shut your anorexic malnutrition tapeworm having over to Dick Gregory and Bahamian dihydrogen ass up. Leave me alone.
We go and sizzler. We go and sizzler.
You got to do the real slow Cabbage Patch when you do it too.
We are so white.
But you missed this shot and you've been beaten out once, but twice by a slow, white, geeky chump.
But the coldest line in that whole movie is when he gets in his ear and goes, "Don't worry about it, Sidney. I've hustled much better players than you.
Don't put up no brick."
That was one of the coldest lines I've ever heard Woody Harrelson. Because you remember, all we knew Woody Harrelson for before then
was Cheers. Yeah. Oh man, now all I got to figure out is how to pull the ball out your ass when I take your money. Who you call about the goofy white motherfucker?
Or when the guy goes to rob the liquor store because he doesn't have enough money.
No,
That ain't me. Take that damn thing off your head. I'm gonna go get my other gun. I'm gonna shoot all y'all.
All y'all motherfuckers are crazy. I'm gonna go in my car, get my other gun, shoot everybody's ass.
Two of them, between the two of them, jumping over the fence, and Rosie Perez like, "Oh my God, come on!" What was the other one? Was it Arizona that did the running scene from Major League? The baseball team when he wakes up. Shit, I've been cut already?
Yeah. Who the hell is that? Get him a uniform.
Get him a uniform.
This is the guy that wasn't invited to camp. Let's stick his ass up.
It just came in my Facebook timeline. It was like 10 or 12 years ago. I put up, you got a name or you're going to settle for veg head? Where you been playing? The California Penal League. How'd you get there? Stole a car.
Stole a car.
Didn't Charlie Sheen actually play for the California Penal League?
In his later career, possibly.
Should have got the live chicken. And the ever favorite, I didn't know who she was. I swear to God. I mean, but the balls on Dorn's wife just to walk out in that dress with her purse over her shoulder. Hi, Jake. Oh, my God.
Jesus. Stay away from her. Suck my dick. No, it's really good. It's really cool. We got uniforms and everything.
Jake was an all-star before he hurt his knees. What was the other one?
The uncomfortable silence after 200-meter individual medley.
Yes. Hey, I need a car. Mine's on the other side of the stadium. Take the bullpen car. Could you imagine back then going down the streets of that was the west side. She lived downtown, but toward the west side of town. Could you imagine going down a side street in the west side of Cleveland and seeing the bullpen car? What the fuck you would do?
Yeah, but it was still the west side, and it was also, about 11:30, 12 o'clock, so that would actually just been considered Wednesday?
That's true. At least it's not Lakewood where the Pauls are from.
Dude, fuck those guys.
Yeah. I don't like Nate Diaz, but I hope he kills him.
God, I hate both of those. Talk about this. Who's more annoying, the Diaz brothers or the Paul brothers? Because right now, for me, it's a dead fucking heat.
Agreed. Oh, speaking of annoying, the other thing Pat McAfee said is that Wembanyama's coming to the United States to take on the NBA's toughest competition, the Kardashian family.
Yup.
And then proceeds to say, not Courtney?
Kendall.
Kendall's starting five win the NBA championship every year. If he was in the bubble, you guys would have been fucking smoked.
Yep.
Dude, I sat here and I watched it tonight because I didn't realize he did the monologue. Because the only two things I'd seen so far from the ESPYs, well, three things. I saw that Patrick Mahomes was wearing a suit with no shirt and a pair of sunglasses you would get in the 90s at like a dollar store and or a gas station. Kelsey took his mother. So they called him an asshole in front of his mother, but I'm sure
he wasn't wearing shoes. He had on 3 chains and he had a sport coat over what looked to be an Under Armour tank top.
It was the Under Armour tank top. They were tux pants with shoes with no socks and the giant belt buckle.
Yeah.
And then he referenced AJ Hawk drinking his own urine in the middle of his monologue.
You sent me that clip the other day.
Oh my God.
I just actually remember that was almost an entire chapter from Bill Romanowski's autobiography.
What, drinking the own urine?
Yep.
Yeah, but the problem is
Romanowski convinced his wife to do it for a while.
Romanowski's urine was laced with so much steroids and cocaine, and probably how he played so well.
Right. You know what? That's the other football comedy we're forgetting. Longest Yard.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I love the original. And maybe it's because I'm a bit of a purist. I could not get into the remake. As good as Sandler made it. And he made it very well.
I was always into it because, it had all the wrestling and MMA guys in it. Bob Sapp, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Stone Cold, Bosworth.
I love when he drills a ref in the nuts with the ball twice.
Yep. And then gives him a wet willy afterwards.
You got to protect your. What was the line? You got to protect your
Nuggets.
That's right.
That was Terry Crews. The great Khali was in that. Turley, nobody gets to me. We'll go play more ping pong later.
Nice. Terry Crews's best part was in White Chicks.
He was pretty good in Get Smart as well.
Never saw it.
One of the only Carell movies I like.
Not a huge Carell fan either.
Do you remember the old Outlaw Volleyball and Outlaw Golf games for for Xbox?
Yes.
Steve Carell was the announcer for those games.
Was he really?
Yes. That was before he blew up huge.
He does a great he played hockey. He was a goalie for travel hockey and apparently got knocked out by a slap shot in a game. And when he woke up, they were asking him questions, and the host family, he couldn't remember their names. He didn't know their names to begin with, but they're asking him what the names were, and he had no idea. They thought he had brain damage.
Yeah, just because a lot of the what a lot of those junior and travel teams do is that, and Canada, it's huge like this. It's not like high school hockey or under 18 or whatever we have here. You basically go live with another family for 8 or 9 months out of the year. You don't see your family at all.
It's insanity, is what it is. What was the other one I wanted to tell you? Did you start watching Letterkenny yet?
No, it's still got to get into that one.
Dude. I'm telling you.
Trust me,
a sports.
If it ever gets added to Netflix, I'm adding it and binging it that day. Because that was.
I got half a mind to go play a clip for you now.
Because Wednesday we did a split shift. It's the office closed early, so I went home and I actually had Netflix on in the background. I watched 2 or 3 movies I'd never seen before.
What'd you watch?
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yeah. So it was hilarity is that you've got Bella from Twilight, you've got Finnick from Hunger Games, and Thor. I'm like, huh?
My moment like that was the movie. You watch Divergent, and you see the brother and sister, Mrs. Almost Aaron Rodgers, and the guy who played her brother. Yeah, they do one of those Nicholas Sparks movies with her boyfriend and girlfriend. I was like, oh. Only in Bama.
Yeah. And then the other one I ended up watching was one that I wanted to see a few years ago and never got around to. It was called Warm Bodies.
Steph has seen that and enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the hell out of it because the funny thing
is, I think we have it.
Yeah, because the girl she looks like a blonde and better actress version of Kristen Stewart, but I enjoyed it. It's Rob Corddry's in it. You can't go wrong with Rob
Corddry's great. Hey, have you ever seen Eastbound and Down?
No. There was something about it that just never appealed to me from the clips that I'd seen.
See, I can't do it because it's Will Ferrell.
That might have been it.
How about This Is the End with like all those boys, Jonah Hill?
I never got around to that because I love Jay Baruchel.
Dude. They have a scene where the guy from Eastbound and Down, the one who plays the main character, what is his name? Danny something. He's in Pineapple Express. He's in
there we go. My mouse just shut off. Danny McBride.
Danny McBride in this version of the Apocalypse has a gimp.
Yeah,
in a mask, the whole nine.
Yeah, I know
It's
the
Channing
premise of the
Tatum.
movie,
It's Channing Tatum,
but it's also Jonah Hill and
Jonah Hill. They're all, and what's her name's in it? Emma Watson plays a version of herself, and
Seth Rogen's in it, and I hate Rogen. I can't stand Rogen.
Rogen is an acquired taste. Rogen, I like. First of all, I like Knocked Up. I think that's a great film. I love him in Superbad.
See, I like Superbad, but it was in spite of him.
No, the two cops. Who's the other? Is Bill Hader the other cop in that one?
Yes.
Okay, because all the TikToks I've seen recently are him dancing. I like those two. Obviously, McLovin is everybody's favorite because it's McLovin.
And it's also hilarious considering McLovin was like the supreme bad guy in Kick-Ass, you know?
That's right. Or his idiot part in Pitch Perfect.
I've been stuffed into lockers. I've been stuffed into a Door to the Explorer backpack. That vastly, vastly underrated quotable movie.
It really is.
Where Lily suggests everything after the sing off at the bottom of the pool. Whoa, bitch, you don't have to shout.
My favorite part of that is when the stoner group tries to sing and she has no idea what she's doing standing there.
She's singing Roxette, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was watching some movie the other day and it was like a horror flick from 5 or 6 years ago, and it was like on like Plex or Tubi or something, and it's like, where have I seen? Oh my God, that's Brittany Snow.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's going back to Pitch Perfect. But if I was in the shower with a girl in college and she went up to sing with another bitch in another shower stall, I'd be a little pissed.
Especially when those two are Brittany Snow and Anna Kendrick.
Yes.
And I tell you what, the really tall one was definitely not bad to look at either. Alexis or other.
Yeah.
Even though she was a freak in the movie, but yeah.
She was a freak and a ballerina.
Yeah.
No, my favorite was the Asian chick.
Lily, yep.
Who was the
beatboxer,
vocal percussionist.
Yep.
Yeah, the vocal percussionist. And then you flip over a couple of channels every day and she's in the Wolverine.
And then what? In the third one, she snaps out of it and she was like possessed by the devil or something.
Something like that.
I haven't seen the third one yet.
I've seen the end of the third one when they do the rendition of Freedom 90 by George Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
It's still, I actually still get, I don't want to say, well, maybe sometimes I get a little emotional at the end of the second one where they're all on stage and then they bring out like all the classic.
That's right.
It's like it's Katie Seagal, who was Peg Bundy. It was Robin Roberts. Lana from WWE was there.
Really?
Yeah. Even though she's not with the company anymore, but still. But yeah, there were like definitely some people in there that had done things in other walks. Because that was like Robin Roberts right after she had come out of chemo, I think.
That I remember. They should have gotten Aisha Tyler, who actually used to do a cappella in college.
Ben Dakar, Pat Benatar.
Dude. Oh, why when you said that?
I was going to say, for what, the last 2 hours of the show, we should just talk about nothing but old school Who's Line?
Go out with me. I'm not scary. I'm really rich. I'm Drew Carey.
Pull the string on the Drew Carey doll and it says lower.
Mimi and I are the same person. The good news is,
away from me.
the good news is, look, I bought you a movie. Merry Christmas! I bought you a movie. It's Geppetto on DVD. No, the best one is when whenever Ryan Stiles does Carol Channing.
Where he's doing the Clinton speech. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
No, when he does the Dirty Harry speech.
Well, that's good, but I'm a little bit more partial to the Clinton one because Brad is doing the sign language next to him, and he just turns to him and says, "Who the hell are you?" But the Dirty Harry one is great.
Dirty Harry one is great. What was my other favorite skit on there? No, Scenes from the Hat was always my favorite.
Well, let's play little scenes for the hat here.
Okay.
Things you can say about your computer that you can't say about your partner.
You're going to get me fucking shot.
She's not watching.
Things you can say about your partner, but about your computer, but not your partner. Yeah, sure. I'll give you the password to get into her.
Does this have a built-in touchscreen?
How much RAM does it take? All right. Since we are a sports show 95% of the time, let's do a sports version of that. Let's do a sports version of that.
Okay.
All right. So, Jim, are we still doing the translator tonight or no?
Nah, let's give it a rest tonight.
Sounds good. All right. So, Scenes from a Hat, sports version. Things you can say about your favorite hockey team, but not your partner.
Oh, we got to shave a couple of inches off this ice.
Look at the splits that one does. Or hit 5-hole.
Actually, if we're being technical, according to Monica, that would be 7, 7, 7.
There are 7. Dude, do you even understand? Every time the number 7,
that's kind of an important one.
Every time the number 7 is said in my house, I do that. Every single time.
Oh, what do we want to quote more of right now? Sports movies or Friends?
Let's see what the situation calls for. For instance, flipping through the other day, I come across the episode where they get their chairs.
Oh.
Homo Lopithecus was never fully erect. Maybe he was nervous.
The fire alarm goes off. Oh, that's still warm. We're fine. Because that's the one. That's the episode where Ross and Rachel do it in the museum.
Oh, when he rolls over, she rolls over on the
juice box.
The juice box.
That was season 2.
They had did you see the reunion show?
Parts of it.
They had the chair set up for him. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Season 3. That was the season 3 debut. But the cushions are the essence of the chair. That's right. I'm taking the essence.
No, when Joey finds out about Chandler and Monica.
To quote A.A. Milne, get out of my chair, dill hole.
The episode where everyone finds out about Chandler and Monica. My eyes. My eyes.
Yeah, just Lisa screaming. And
She
just
does that scene.
Some of the clips of over the years of like where Lisa just loses it and they leave it in.
How about when he's playing the bagpipes?
I was just going to bring that one up because that one was ad-libbed.
Yeah, because Jennifer Aniston couldn't handle it. Oh, my God.
That might have the greatest blooper reel of any show I've ever seen.
You have to watch Supernatural. I will say this. Steph got me into that show. If it wasn't about like ghosts and demons and everything else, it'd be a buddy cop show.
You know the one that I actually see showing up in my YouTube timeline that I need to try to get into anymore, speaking of buddy cop show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You know what? I tried. I honestly tried. Couldn't do it. Because to me, Andy Samberg's an acquired taste for me.
I was going to say Andy Samberg's an acquired taste, but his girlfriend and the fact that Terry Crews and Andre Braugher at the same time, how can you go wrong?
There is an episode where his girlfriend, who ends up becoming his wife, is having the baby, and they are dancing to Push It by Salt and Pepper. Andre Braugher and Terry Crews. It is so bad.
God.
It is so bad. And do you know Andre Braugher plays a gay guy married to a white dude?
Yep. God, I need to start watching that. I think actually in the next week or two, I'm going to start going back and binging through Chuck all over again.
He was on a show or did something where he was talking about he thought he was the only person to ever do a Marvel movie, a DC movie, and Disney. Because he, of course, did Shazam.
Right.
He was in Thor: The Dark World and Tangled.
Yep.
Someone pops on and goes, do not ever disrespect the GOAT. Green Goblin, Aquaman, Finding Nemo, Willem Dafoe.
And also remember, Willem Dafoe got freaky with Madonna.
No, Willem Dafoe dressed as Boondock Saints. Boondock Saints, Boondock Saints, Boondock Saints. I'm telling you, find it somewhere.
Do we need to actually like start doing a once a week like watch along thing where I actually start like I'm one of those people that goes into like first time reaction club or something?
Might be fun. Can I share another screen if I do something like that?
Sure.
All right. Give me a second.
It's the one next to the camera. How is it I ate 1.5 pounds of pasta salad that my dad made today and I'm still hungry?
I have no idea.
I almost want Jets pizza, and that sucks because it's Detroit style.
Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes. Do you have the ability to throw that on, or
It says
me as the producer?
You got to put it in there as a
Okay.
producer.
Okay, do me a favor. Blow it up to full screen. Okay.
Hit play.
It's
Rewind
gotta
it and
be
hit
you.
play.
What's that?
All right, I'm going to rewind it to the beginning. I'm going to hit play. This is the scene I was telling you about.
Hello. Room number? We got a time of death. I got a body count. I'll be down there in a bit. Keep the press out. What are you doing?
I just wanted to cuddle.
Cuddle. What a fag.
Bring us back. I'm telling you, the whole movie's like that.
Oh, you got autoplay on.
Yeah, well, that ad after it. That's the scene I was telling you about.
Oh, God.
Just from that scene, I believe you will enjoy that film. What did you do?
I had my pen or something in my hand. It just like literally slipped out of my hand.
I hate it when that happens. So we have hit the 2-hour mark where we've done nothing but ramble and swear and talk about stupid shit and nothing about what we normally do. So I'm going to give everybody a glimpse of what next Saturday is going to be like, because it's not going to be like this.
It won't. We're not going to change the show completely to the Wise Ass Sports Network.
We probably could.
I mean, it's your kids aren't living with you anymore to where we actually, we don't have to be kid friendly on your channel anymore.
Well, I don't think, I think I might do the 5-year episode and then kind of fold Big Rican into just this. With the amount of time I don't have, just doing this with you it's the hour and a half to 2 hours a week I really look forward to. Chicken's done. Anyway.
Chicken? I can eat some chicken.
So next Saturday night, we will come to you at 9:00, our normal, which should we just tell them it's going to be our normal time slot now? Unless we announce otherwise.
The Thursday's just not going to work out for a little while.
Yeah. So Saturday night,
if we have plans, then we do it on Friday.
Exactly. So Saturday night's 9 p.m. on the Wise Guys channel is going to be our normal time slot per week. This week we are going to break down the Cavaliers off season, whether we get Patrick or not. We're going to dive in to a really good off season. That so far we got a long way to go yet. Did you know as of today, speaking of the sports stuff, we are 50 days from college football.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Because that just means I got 4 months every week of you rambling on about that team 2 hours south of me.
I will make you a promise. I will only ramble on when they're playing well.
So which means I have 3.5 months of listening to you ramble
You're
on
a dick.
about them.
No, I figure if we're going to cover all of it, I mean, we're going to hit them, but we'll hit a bunch of it like we did last year. We won't.
Oh, God,
I won't monopolize time.
That means my father's coming on a couple of times this season. We are not allowed to play Taylor Swift on the air, Dad.
No, I'm sorry. I have to side with Jim on this one. Jim, not big Jim.
We could, but even we have standards.
And he's heard some of the shit you and I have said tonight, so that's really saying something.
Yeah, he's probably not watching now, but he'll catch the on-demand later.
Yeah, he will. So we will break down the Cavaliers off season next week. Get into a little bit of baseball as we get the trade deadline coming up very soon, and right around the corner, we're going to be doing the college football preview, which we're going to try and get John for, and then we will be ramping up to the big one, October 28th. Live from Jacksonville, Florida. We have not decided how long we will be on that day, but it will be a good amount of time because both Chromebooks will be with us. As much. You want burgers or dogs?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to argue with you.
I think tomorrow there's going to be chicken, steak, some sort of pulled pork, possibly ribs, and it's all going to be smoked.
My only question is, when come to October, if Georgia fans mess with us, because I'm gonna send you the shirt, by the way, to have the Wise Guys logo stitched in scarlet red.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll send that to you. But are we going Bills Mafia on people if we have to?
I'm not going through tables. I'll put
Not
people
you.
through tables, but
That's what I'm saying. I got a Dudley death drop in me.
good callback.
Yeah. I liked when they came back to WWE years ago in Brooklyn and they beat up the New Day and the whole arena did the Devon get the table.
Yeah, but if we're going to do that, if we're going to pull out a 3D, it's going to be in an outdoor space, which means we don't have to worry about fire codes. So let's up the ante. Thumbtacks and lighter fluid. Flaming tables.
Ooh.
I was playing the AEW game earlier today, and wouldn't you know, out of spite, I was going up against CM Punk in an exploding ring barbed wire death match where I threw him into the barbed wire multiple times with explosions.
Nice.
And then went under the ring and grabbed a propane tank and then threw it at him where it exploded like a bomb. God, I love this game. Alex, where you at? All I know is
Did I see him put a dude's head between his legs and start shaking his ass?
yes.
Thought so. So I personally want to say thank you. Number one, can we keep that intro as our intro from now on? That's phenomenal.
That's the new permanent intro.
Outside of my,
not the disclaimer.
not the disclaimer. The disclaimer we'll only do when we do an episode like this, where it has no direction. It's stuff that comes off the top of our heads. I be honest with you, with going to the 1 day a week and going to Saturdays when we can do the hour and a half and really dive into stuff, it's more our style. We want to break this thing down. We want to get people's opinion. We want to get your opinion out there, and we want to talk to you guys. So we want to start bringing people on that aren't our rotating group of friends that we get on here.
Because you can almost think of this as now like the new evolution of the Wise Guys show, the new intro. So like next week, it's going to kind of christen in a new era. You've seen the new kind of layout. You've seen the new intro. We're going to actually incorporate a lot more format-based stuff and keep it on task. We're going to try and stay under 90 minutes starting next week. And try and get that even shaved down further as we progress. Where there's going to be a couple of commercial breaks in there to kind of give you guys a rest, so it's not all the way through. We've added the podcast option now through YouTube Music, so there's definitely an evolution going there. We're going to be a lot more active on social media. We're hopeful that by Labor Day we've got the Twitter and the Threads official Wise Guys sections added on. I'll have the blog updated with a more laid out thing. We might actually even start a separate blog, like a sister blog, to accompany that, and then Mike will actually be able to add to that if he wants to.
Yeah, we got a lot coming for the Wise Guys, and Willie said to us last week, grow it where you can. And as much as Jim and I joke about growing it, this is something we are pretty passionate about. So growing it is something we're going to want to do. We're going to get some timing down. Obviously, our live content's going to stay our live content. That's going to be weekly. I think there's really only 1 or 2 weeks where we were planning out last week that we probably would have to skip. One of them was my wedding anniversary. So unfortunately, guys out there watching, the last weekend of August belongs to my wife. So I will not be available.
Maybe I'll do a solo Wise Guys show and just put like a cardboard. I could actually just use a frozen clip of you from when your internet crashed.
You know the funny thing is,
grow if you won't let me blow. Pool drainer.
You really went there?
Okay, Joe. The girl from the Xerox place or a big tub of jam? Put your hands together.
Yeah, well, Dynamite dropping money.
That broadcast school is really paying off.
They don't call him the best color guy in the league for nothing.
Fly ball caught.
Didn't he lay out for that too?
Yes.
No, my personal favorite still. And I was going to do, when you said that, I was going to do the nice drop, nice catch, Jim. Don't ever fucking do it again.
Oh, God.
So at the 2 hour and 11-minute mark, what do you say we wrap this sucker up and we're old and go to bed? I got to be at Lowe's in the morning.
Well, you can
Bobby's,
go to Lowe's. I don't have to be there until 6, I don't think, tomorrow.
Well, no, Bobby does the kids' workshops.
Those are always fun whenever I would see going into a hardware store and that it's just
tomorrow's a TikTok grill.
That could be fun.
It's more stuff from my desk at work.
Yeah, but also the other benefit of going there is that like you get to go into Lowe's and there are few things as a man in this world that are better than walking into a hardware store first thing in the morning when all the new lumber has been
Oh,
delivered.
the smell. It honestly doesn't remind me of building things. It reminds me of campfires.
I never actually went camping, but yeah, it's just I'm not outdoorsy guy. I've never really been.
I did Boy Scouts, and then we had a pop-up when I was a kid. We used to go to Punderson.
Oh, geez. We did. Did you guys do 6th grade camp because you and I were in different districts back then?
No, I wasn't out there in 6th grade.
Okay, like in 6th grade, I actually know when I was living in Mayfield originally, all the 6th graders had to go to camp for a week, but it was like all in lodges and everything. So you were doing camp activities and everything, but it's you couldn't go swimming in the lake because it was just too damn dirty. But it's
and probably too damn cold.
Right, but you also had like 15, 20 boys per cabin, and then you had all 4 schools in the district there at once. So you had like 7, 8, 9 buses.
So it was the opening sequence from The Parent Trap.
I was almost going to bring that movie up because I will say that is probably one of my 5 favorite movies of all time.
The new one or the original?
The new one, the one with Lindsay Lohan.
Agreed. So for my co-host with the most and the executive content producer of the Wise Guy Sports Show, I am the Big Rican signing off, and I will say this in closing. Thank you for the new intro. It is absolutely fucking amazing. Sorry it took me so long to get you the video to tell you to start the fucking show.
That took me all of about maybe 45 seconds to piece together.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. It took me longer. It took me longer to record my bit than to edit the video.
Wait, we edit stuff?
I do, as the producer.
That makes sense. So we'll see you guys next Saturday night with a content-filled episode, not just the ramblings of 2 sports fanatics. And send in your questions about the Cavs. We would love to answer some. And I'm going to put that on Threads and Twitter. Let's see what we can get out of it, huh?
And this will not be the last time you'll see the Wise Guys Sports Show. I don't think once every 25 years or even once every year is going to be enough for this. This was probably our most fun episode of the 35 we've done.
Yeah, I think the Wise Ass Sports Network needs to bring you the tailgate party at the Florida-Georgia game.
I think that's basically been written in stone after the first 25 minutes of tonight.
Oh yeah.
Everyone, have yourselves a great night, a great weekend. We'll see you guys a week from tonight.
Take care, everybody. It's a week from tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's still Friday. The fuck?
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
Good night, everybody.